News Talk KVNU.
The information from the pretty balanced perspective.
Online at kvnutalk.com and on the KVNU mobile app.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. Look to the skies for World War II bombers today and Saturday, flying from and returning to the Logan Cache Airport at Leading Edge Aviation. The Flying Legends of Victory Tour continues through Sunday, brought to the Valley by the Commemorative Air Force based in Memphis, Arizona, or make that Mesa, Arizona. On KBNU's For the People program on Wednesday, Mike Garrett said rides are available in B-17G bombers beginning today.
We have rides for sale that's starting this Friday, so people come out to buy rides, but they also come out to watch the air show. So we'll be flying, right now we have 5 flights scheduled on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and 5 on Sunday, and
wow.
We're almost all sold out already, which is pretty incredible.
Garrett said the turnout locally since Tuesday, the first day, has been fantastic. He said the B-17 is a plane he knows very well.
So B-17 in general was a World War II bomber. 12,730 were built from 1935 up through the end of the war in 1945. They flew in all theaters of the World War II, but they were primarily known for flying in Europe with the 8th Air Force out of England, where the Americans flew B-17s and B-24s in bombing missions over Germany.
Garrett said if the rides do sell out here, he invites attendees up to Pocatello, which is their next stop, where they'll be all next week. You can get more information at flyinglegendstour.com. The Idaho Supreme Court says it has a new online tool to resolve disputes between tenants and landlords that could help renters avoid becoming homeless. The court announced the tool Wednesday ahead of the ending of an eviction moratorium in Idaho put in place by the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to prevent the spread of the coronavirus and help tenants unable to make payments during the pandemic. The moratorium ends July 31st. The court says the tool uses software that guides parties through a negotiation process, allowing them to resolve their dispute outside court. It plans to test the tool in Ada County, which includes Boise, before making it statewide. And a West Jordan landlord has been taken into custody after police say he fired shots into a tenant's bedroom. ABC4 reports that according to arresting documents, officers responded to a call for shots fired in West Jordan on Tuesday. Officers learned there was a dispute at the address between the landlord, 61-year-old Michael Bosca, and a tenant. The tenant told officers he heard a hollering and pounding coming from Bosca upstairs. The tenant also said he felt like the noise was directed towards him as he had disputes over rent money with Bosca before. According to arresting documents, the victim then decided to go outside when his roommate arrived at the home. The victim went back inside because he believed his roommate had spoken with Bosca because it quieted down. After sitting down on his bed, he heard gunshots come through the ceiling. The victim ran to his car, called 911, and drove off. Officers were then able to take Bosca into custody. KBNU weather brought to you by Polylift. Attention homeowners, you may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation's been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift concrete raising and piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift concrete raising and piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated. Excessive heat warning all weekend through Monday evening at 9. Mostly clear tonight. Patchy smoke this evening. Overnight low in the lower 50s with northwest winds 10 to 20 miles an hour early this evening. Sunny, patchy smoke in the afternoon. Tomorrow, upper 90s, around 101 on Sunday. For the latest news, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
People love shopping at U&I Furniture. They know they're going to get a great price on a quality piece of furniture. And one section of the store is Chair Heaven, where U&I has a big selection of rocker recliners, power recliners, big chairs, chairs for the petite, swivel chairs, accent chairs, lift chairs, all kinds of chairs. U&I works hard to have the inventory you're looking for. In fact, they order new furniture on almost a daily basis to keep stocked up. So if you need a sofa love, sectional, a new dining room set, stop in and see why there really is always a better buy at U&I Furniture in downtown Logan at 28 West 1st North.
For the people, weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Oh, little piggy, let me in or I'll blow this building down.
Nice try, Wolfie, but this here building's made from steel.
All right then, here goes. Gosh, that didn't work.
A building from Northern Steel Buildings will keep out the big bad wolf, and they don't break the piggy bank. Visit northernsteelbuildings.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
Planning your funeral shouldn't be the last thing you do. Pre-planning is actually quite common. Allen Mortuaries recommends you plan it all in advance. That way, you have time to think and arrange things the way you want them. Then, when the time comes, your loved ones can focus on what's important. Family. Allen Mortuaries.
This is Jason Allen with Allen Mortuaries, serving Cache Valley for over 80 years. Then, now, always.
It's the talk of the town once again. It's time for the Downtown Sidewalk Sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Shop S.E. Needham Jewelers both inside and outside. You'll find bargains under the tent. This is a clearance sale on giftware, watches, clocks, and jewelry. Come shop all the great deals. Buy one item, get one free on giftware. If you're getting engaged, this is an event you don't want to miss. Shop downtown. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
This is Sweetwater Window Cleaning. Summer is here, and so are all the activities. Why not have us take care of the window cleaning for you? I'm sure you've got plenty on your to-do list already. And let's face it, when you climb that dangerous ladder to clean your own windows, they seldom come out as good as you'd like. Let us give you the crystal clean professional results you want. Mention this ad, and we'll remove hard water for free.
Sweetwater Window Cleaning, 3636543, 3636543.
Smash.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. I expected more out of Barbara Streisand. This isn't even her. Anyway,
this is
welcome to the studio.
That's Bryan Adams, right? Let's paint the picture for this song because this is very movie related. This was the song, and if I'm not mistaken, remember in the 90s, I think it was 90 or 91, when everyone's like, Bryan Adams, he really lays the romantic pipes down for these, these beautiful. Robin Hood, that was his big one. Remember, everything I do it for you.
Yeah.
Remember that song? Anyway, I hate that song.
What was that from? That was Robin Hood?
Yeah, that was Robin Hood. I almost said Men in Tights.
Yeah,
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That was the first time Kevin Costner one, right?
Yeah, the first time I ever remember seeing Morgan Freeman, and also the 18th time I remember hating Christian Slater.
Did you ever see that latest Robin Hood? It was just
with Russell Crowe.
2019. No, it was. I'll have to look while you're.
Well, so that one is...
It was good, is what I was saying.
That one is Barbra Streisand and Bryan Adams for, I believe, The Mirror Has Two Faces. Remember that with Jeff Bridges before he turned into...
Oh, wow, yeah.
Before he turned into... Hey, Jason.
That's right.
Jason.
That was...
Somehow I've got stuck in my Rooster Cogburn character.
That was a weird transformation.
I don't know.
He just became that guy all the time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be the complete jerk here. And I'm either going to say Jeff Bridges has had way too much weed in a certain window. Like they were like, "Hey man, you can have this much and still be okay." And he shot the moon. And so when he got finished, he was like, "Hey everybody," right? And this is the I'm a total jerk. Or he had a stroke. There's just no way around it.
Well, and he didn't. I mean, there's an interview out there somewhere where someone asked him. Because that was kind of the story itself. So the people were shocked that they asked this question.
They asked him if they had a stroke. If he had a
stroke.
Yeah,
a journalist asked if. I was going to try and help you there, Bill. I wasn't quick enough.
Let's trace it though, because he was fine in Iron Man. That's 2008. At some point after that,
I completely forgot he was
Tony.
Yeah,
he was kind of his old. Jeff Bridges. You know the thing about Jeff Bridges, and there's a lot of actors like this. Jeff Bridges, he's got so much range. You know what I mean? There's a lot of actors like that, and some of them might seem kind of vanilla to a lot of people, like George Clooney, I think, or Ryan Gosling. Guys like that can be a bad guy and a good guy, and you like them all the time.
The thing is we have to have actors like that.
Sure.
So somebody's got to do those roles.
This is actually...
Because you can't have somebody that's got a little more flair and is a little more iconic and memorable in some of those roles that George Clooney is perfect for.
This is actually a really great segue, because I saw a movie this week, and it's...
I call him the mask. No. The Mapack.
I got
MEH.
I see what you're saying.
Man.
No, I saw a movie this week. It's not in theaters. It's on Amazon Prime.
I set this up because we sort of panned this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. We'd seen the trailer and we were both like, oh, been done. We don't need another one.
I was like, what is this, Battlefield Los Angeles, the ninth sequel? It looked like a sci-fi movie. It really did. It looked like, and that's not to trash the Sci-Fi Channel. It
just looked like one that had been done a million times.
Well, yeah, overdone. It's like,
actually, I've got
alien invasion.
So I grabbed this clip to illustrate this. This is why I think both of us sort of panned it. Well, just listen to this.
We are fighting a war 30 years in the future.
Is it a joke?
Our enemy is not human. We need you to fight.
You got drafted.
I will be back.
Why is this happening? What about the teachers' deferment and the veterans' deferment?
If I don't go, they're going to draft you in my place. But if something does happen to me, you and Miri will be taken care of.
If something happens to you, Dan, 70% of draftees do not return.
So that's just a little bit from the trailer, and I thought, well, I mean, this is the Starship Troopers with Independence Day.
It just feels like, it's an alien invasion.
Yeah, another
one.
And
average Joe's got to come up and help. But here's the thing. Chris Pratt, I worry about actors sometimes because, Chris Pratt...
Like at night when you're trying to sleep?
I do.
I'm like, Chris Pratt,
come on, Chris Pratt, I hope everything's okay with you.
I better call Brittany.
Well, sometimes you see actors will peak, and then we've seen this with a lot of our action heroes, Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. I mean, you can go down the line.
Steven Seagal.
He peaked twice. He never peaked.
He peaked halfway through his first movie.
Well, I think maybe what happens is
wouldn't give up.
When people start their box office returns lessen, then people are like, that personality cushion that you had running for you there, that was in the form of straight up greenbacks, is done. You know what I mean? We're okay.
Yeah.
The margins don't justify us having to tolerate you at this point. I think that's what happens. But here's the thing. Chris Pratt is an actor who, we've talked about this before, Jason. I'm behind the times on TV. I mean, I'm just watching Parks and Rec, right? So I'm watching Parks and Rec, and I'm seeing Chris Pratt play Andy Dwyer, and I'm like, Chris Pratt, he's so funny, and he was so chubby. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Because I experienced Chris Pratt when he broke onto the scene in movies. I had seen him in other movies. I'd seen him in... what was the movie with Angelina Jolie and Morgan Freeman? The one where they would curve the bullets, whatever. Chris Pratt was in there, and he played the jerk boyfriend. He was in a couple other minor comedies. He was in The 5-Year Engagement. He played like a assistant chef, and he was kind of the comedic whatever. He was the comedy go-to in that, but just a brief role. He was in Zero Dark 30, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, as one of the Navy SEALs. So my point is that I've seen him in movies, but when he came onto the scene and really broke out with Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought, okay, this dude's legit. And then he came on, then there was Jurassic World.
Because I'd watched Parks and Rec, I was legit. I was so ready to call Guardians of the Galaxy I was going to be so angry because I didn't really ever get into this big Marvel secret here for me, despite the fact that I'm a huge fan of these characters my entire life. I never really actually got into the comics.
Sure.
I didn't. That just wasn't my thing.
I would say, I would bet you the bulk of Marvel fans, Marvel movie fans, are not. They might know minor things about the comics, but I would say they're not diehard comic people.
I had the action figures when I was a kid. I saw all the movies. The comics were, except for Guardians of the Galaxy, because I thought what does Thor call him? The rabbit?
Yeah.
I thought the rabbit was hilarious. And I just kind of enjoyed that. And so when they said Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, I was so ready to hate it. Just because they were taking the one that I thought had some real comedy potential, putting him in it, and he just wasn't that funny in Parks and Rec.
I thought the same thing as I saw.
And I was wrong. He was great.
Yeah, he was. So here, this is what I want to talk about with the Tomorrow War. He's had some misses in his career. He really has, and they've been lately, right? There's also been some things about him, and we don't have to go into this too deeply. But there was a time last year where a lot of the Avengers cast came to his defense because people were, and when I say people, I mean social media, and when I say social media, I mean Twitter, which again is not reality. But these guys were coming out and they were basically saying, "Hey, look, this guy, he didn't stand up for this, and he's probably a Trump supporter or whatever." There was a lot of
still touch people's lives.
There was a lot of criticisms that I thought were unfounded, and the cast members came up and said, "Hey, look, this is a good guy. Like, everyone has a difference of opinion. It doesn't matter what he thinks or what he does. He's a good guy. He's not out there sexually harassing people. He's not. You know what I mean? Like, give it a rest, right?" And then that just added. Then people were like, "Oh, you guys didn't run to the defense of Brie Larson when fans were attacking her, or what? That whole thing." So here's the thing. He's great. He's great as Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's great as Owen Grady in Jurassic World, those movies. He obviously, the Lego movie was another big one. He did the voice of the Emmett in the Lego movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's some other movies in here. I think probably the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, was Passengers with him and Jennifer Aniston. That was almost too. It was him playing a dramatic character, and I didn't buy it.
That could have actually been good, and he sort of. I just had a hard. But I wondered if that's because of what we had just seen him in when that movie came out. Because here he is playing.
There was a bidding war for that script. People don't know this. Yeah, that was written by. I can't remember. Let me actually look it up. But it was written by John Spates, and this script. I mean, John Spates had, I think, written some of the Alien scripts, like Prometheus. He's actually he wrote Dune. He wrote the Dune script that's coming out this October. He came up with the story for the Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, so that makes us all sad. He wrote Doctor Strange, he wrote Prometheus, and he also wrote The Darkest Hour, which is, I think, kind of his breakout. Anyhow, what I wanted to say here was Chris Pratt in the Tomorrow War is I think I don't want to say he's shown range, because he's not going to be up for a nomination for any of these, any acting awards for this movie. But this was actually really, really good. I can't believe I'm saying that. I will tell you, Jason, there is things in this movie that are just like you'd think. You'd be like, I knew that was going to happen.
Predictable.
But there's enough little turns that you don't really expect from the story, really.
That's cool.
And what's cool is I was worried that it was just going to be nonstop alien lame action.
I saw this as a slightly more an Independence Day with a little depth. That's kind of what I thought it looked like.
It's actually, you bring up a good point, because I know you hate Independence Day.
I really didn't. I actually liked the movie. I hated the hype.
Oh, I
gotcha. Never understood why that movie got so much. It was good,
yeah,
but it wasn't what it ended up being perceived. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, greatest movie of all time."
No, there's a twist in this that really threw me.
That's cool.
There's a sense of, the movie's a little over 2 hours, but there's a sense of speed, of rush in it. Like, we really have to get this done. Like, there's an urgency. You don't get that sometimes in action movies. You feel like sometimes the segments between action beats are a little too long. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to cram it full of action. And somehow this movie makes it.
That's pretty cool.
I haven't looked to see what it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna guess it's 53%.
Yeah, it's getting panned by.
It kind of, that's disappointing to me. I mean, I think sometimes it's easy for critics. Yeah, see, audiences like it. Audiences give it 80%.
Some of the we got to go to the news. Some of the
the problem
is the visuals in the trailer I thought were cool. The soccer or the.
I was worried about that. That was my worry. I thought it was going to look bad. But this is a great movie.
The scene when the alien army comes through.
Yeah.
In the middle of is it a high school football game?
No, it's like a world soccer match.
Oh, that's right. It was soccer, and he's and the players running down the field.
Yeah.
And then this thing.
Yeah, and then the army from the future comes through. It's actually pretty cool, and they kind of flip the whole time travel thing on its head. You know, they take some of the normal conventions, but
now I'm intrigued.
I give it a B, a solid B. I mean, it has some, there's some issues, but they're not enough to make it. I wouldn't call it a must watch, but I would call it definitely fulfilling. It's worth, if you have the Prime subscription,
worth seeing.
Yeah, check it out. Okay. I'd actually pay for this if it was in theaters too.
I'll put that on my weekend watch list. All right, that's the Tomorrow War, Andy's review there. But there's more, and it involves werewolves, and we'll be talking about it right after this.
Attention homeowners, you may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation has been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum Piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated.
American Secure Title is proud to be recognized as the best of Northern Utah. The entire team at American Secure Title is dedicated to offering excellent escrow and title services to the Northern Utah real estate community. They work with the most financially secured title insurance underwriters in the nation. No matter the type of real estate transaction or the financial size, American Secure Title will be a key factor for a smooth closing experience. American Secure Title, a legacy of service. Logan, Tremonton, Brigham City. More information at americansecure.com.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Utah Army National Guard. Aired by the Utah Broadcasters Association and this station.
As the summer's war against weeds and pests rages on, a new bug threat starts hopping around, destroying garden plants and flowers. Luckily, you are ready for them with Logan Extermination's Perimeter Grasshopper Control. It's like a minefield for the minute menace.
Good job, men. Another bug bites the dirt. Let's regroup before the next wave hits.
They do what they are trained to do. Strike terror into termites, bash the bed bugs, and cook the cockroaches. Remember the brave men and women at Logan Extermination. Call 752-8450.
Prices start at only $65.
The results are in for the 2021 Best of Northern Utah contest.
Best of Northern Utah.
Brought to you by Thermo Fisher. Pick up your copy of the Winners Magazine. Pickup locations are listed at bestofnorthernutah.com. Over 300,000 votes were cast to determine gold and silver winners in 164 business categories. Help congratulate these businesses and support all of your local businesses. And thank you for participating in the 2021 Best of Northern Utah contest.
Change your hair.
Same jacket.
While you're turning me every which way but loose, you turn me every which way but loose.
Welcome back to the For the People movie show. A little tangent here in the midst of Andy's reviews, and as he promised, if you're looking for comedy, a good laugh this weekend, there is not something we get to say here on the movie show often. There is a werewolf horror movie you're going to want to add to your must-see list. We'll hear more about that in a bit, but that song there, just a little tribute to an actor who passed away this week. William Smith was an action star, and that theme song there was actually from the first movie, Every Which Way But Loose, with Clint Eastwood and a monkey, chimpanzee. What's the line, Bill? Wreck the cat, or strip the caddy Clyde, something like that. He says something to the chimpanzee and it rips the car apart. A very funny movie. It had a sequel, though, called Any Which Way You Can, and there's a famous scene in that movie in which Eastwood and actor William Smith get in a bit of a wrestling match. They have a fight. And if you haven't seen the movie, you don't care about this, but if you saw the movie, you'll know that scene, and the actor William Smith, who played that character in Any Which Way You Can, the sequel to Any Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood, passed away this week. He was 88, passed away at a hospital in Woodland Hills, California. He was also famous for, he had a recurring role in the final season of the original Hawaii Five-0, that original one. So, and TV miniseries Rich Man, Poor Man put him on the map, actually. Although Any Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can should have put him on the map. Anyway, a little obscure movie trivia there for everyone. The big opener this week, of course, as Andy mentioned, is Black Widow. It is playing here in Cache Valley alongside a few that have been in theaters for a while now. F9, the latest in the Fast and Furious saga. Cruella, and A Quiet Place Part 2, still playing here as well. And Boss Baby, the family business. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that one. Also playing here in Cache Valley. Black Widow, the reason this has everyone kind of, as Andy has hinted a few times in previous shows, he's worried about this when he's concerned because the trailer left him underwhelmed. But it's been out for about 24 hours now. I don't know, maybe the trailer was just bad. It looks like the film itself is a hit. But the reason everybody's so worried about this is that this is the official kickoff of the Marvel Universe Phase 4. So we had Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 playing out in various combinations of movies. Sometimes the Avengers together in their own films, but also intertwined with the second and third films of Captain America's story, Thor's story, and even Iron Man there in the very beginning. So all this intertwining into the end of the Avengers story with Infinity War and Endgame, and then this... Okay, it's a spoiler. If you haven't seen it yet, Black Widow dies in Endgame, and so this is obviously a flashback, but this is still, even though it's a flashback to Black Widow's pre-Avenger days, it's still the kickoff of Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe, the remaining Avengers, and the next set of what could be 5, 6, 7, 8 films in the final act, basically, of the Marvel Universe. So everyone's nervous to see if there are a couple of factors here. The pandemic is obviously a factor. This would have been out a year ago, and closer on the heels of that final Avengers movie. Also, with there kind of being such a large gap, we've had 3 actually now successful Disney Plus original series in the Marvel Universe that have kind of already taken things in a certain direction. And this film was meant to kick them off. They instead kick this film off. And then rumor has it the end of this film actually sets up the up-and-coming Disney Plus Marvel series. So, yeah, there's a lot at play here for Marvel fans, to say the least. So, it's in theaters now. Hear what Andy thought about it next week on the show. He's tweeted some spoilers about that, but you'll have to wait until next week to hear his grade and review and what he thinks this says about the future of the Marvel Universe. But it is in theaters here in Logan. One theater is claiming it's here in IMAX. I didn't know that was an option. Maybe something's changed, but that's at least what's listed on the Providence Megaplex Theater's website, is that Black Widow can be seen in IMAX tonight. So maybe get out and see it, and be sure to tune in next week to hear what Andy thought of it and what the future holds for the Marvel Universe. On the other side, though, there's still plenty on the streaming services to talk about. Loki, the Disney original series from that Marvel Universe, a big hit so far with fans and critics alike, which speaks well to both Black Widow, these other original series that have come before, and this Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe, because Loki being a flashback as well, kind of a flashback. It's time travel related, so, sort of. It also has some hints and teasers about what's coming next for the remaining Avengers and more. Even Ant-Man. How does he figure into all of this? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the big splash this week on streaming services, which was based on a series of children's books called Fear Street. It premiered on Netflix, and it is basically topping the charts. We'll talk about it all on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. Everybody's noticed the smoke this afternoon. Suddenly a lot of smoke in the valley that has been brought in by some northwest winds. According to Cache County Fire, the smoke is not from fires in the county, but for the most part from Idaho, where there are 10 wildfires burning at present, and also from Oregon. Oregon reporting 14 wildfires. And with the northwest flow, that smoke is funneling down, unfortunately, in the Cache Valley. We do have an excessive heat warning continuing all weekend long. We'll give you the details on the weather in just a moment. After working as the Cache County attorney for 12 years, James Swink says it has been a real privilege to serve, but he feels he has reached the end of his term. He and his staff oversee criminal, civil, and juvenile cases throughout the county, along with assisting in judicial matters in neighboring counties. Swink said it breaks his heart to be stepping aside, but the timing was right for him and his family.
After 12 years of holding a public office, I'm a believer in term limits, and it's kind of self-imposed term limits that I've set, and it is a good time to move forward and move on. And I've always wanted, my dad always taught me to leave a campsite and a job better than you found it, and that was what I tried to do, and with the help of a lot of people, we were able to accomplish some good things in the county attorney's office.
Swink officially left his position July 5th to become a criminal prosecutor with the Weber County Attorney's Office. It is an office he worked in previously after moving back to Utah from Idaho, where he had been a judicial clerk. Swink said there has been a lot of gratification working for the residents of Cache County. At the same time, there have also been a lot of tough issues, especially with criminal cases.
My family hasn't had an uninterrupted vacation for the last 12 years, and that just goes with the job. And so some of those things that happen are really serious and take the attention of the elected official and the staff to work through issues and make decisions, and so those things can be challenging, but also keeping the public safe is a high priority. And
there have been several high-profile cases that Swink oversaw and helped prosecute. They include the two men that attempted to kill Desiree Turner, also the conviction of Tori Green, the former USU football player found guilty of raping multiple female students. Well, a couple of big events are happening in downtown Logan as we head into the weekend. The 49th annual sidewalk sale continues today and on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. This free event is open to the public and offers more than 60 shopping and eating establishments and plenty of free parking. Also, tonight, the Cash Arts Alliance is sponsoring the first fully in-person gallery walk since December 2019. The walk will be held from 6 to 9 p.m. 9 local businesses will transform into galleries for the evening, giving patrons the opportunity to explore the local art scene. To get a map and artist information, go to casharts.org/gallery walk. And, of course, the weekly Gardeners Market will be held Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the area of and behind the historic courthouse at 199 North Main. So an excessive heat warning with us all weekend long. It looks like the coolest temperatures will be tonight with the winds out of the northwest, cooling things down, but unfortunately bringing all that Idaho smoke into the valley tonight. But the overnight low tonight in the lower 50s. Sunny, patchy smoke in the afternoon tomorrow, upper 90s. Patchy smoke, especially Sunday morning, and very hot temperatures again around 101. Today's high was 96. KBNU weather brought to you by the Duct Hunter. If your clothes dryer isn't drying, it might be the dryer vent. Don't buy new. Call the Duct Hunter. They'll come clean it out for you. 770-4813. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Oh, we live in a great area. Are you just back from a camping trip? Don't take your sleeping bags to the dry cleaner. Come to Mount Logan Laundry. For just a few quarters, our 55 or 80-pound washers and 80-pound dryers will have those bags clean for your next trip. Mount Logan Laundry has free Wi-Fi and drop-off service, plus they're open until midnight. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town. Find them at 5th East and 9th North in Logan or in Brigham City on the corner of 1st East and 7th South. Mount Logan Laundry.
You've been putting up with a dirty, dusty wood stove for years. Why haven't you changed it? Go to Advanced Fireplace and Stove in Logan. Look through their showroom for ideas on Quadra-Fire pellet and wood stoves and Heat and Glow gas fireplaces. They have several demos in place so you can see firsthand how your project will look. And you can trust the pros at Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They'll do the job right. Advanced Fireplace and Stove. 752-7272. Online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
Pristine wilderness can still be found in the West, where creeks run freely and historic apple trees still bear fruit. Maple Creek Ranch features breathtaking canyon views and opportunities for real estate development. 2.5-acre lots are now available with adjacent wilderness areas that provide endless riding and recreational possibilities. So find your piece of paradise just 35 minutes from Logan at Maple Creek Ranch. Schedule your appointment online at maplecreekranch.net.
Trouble with pain, sleep, or anxiety? Want better health? Try CBD7, the CBD experts. You simply can't get this water-soluble CBD at grocery, convenience, or health food stores. Water-soluble CBD7 absorbs 15 times better and tastes great. CBD7 has the only clinically proven formula with real measurable results. Many feel better in minutes. CBD7 is not a drug and has no side effects. Other CBDs just can't do all that. Visit CBD7 today. Learn about CBD and try our best for free.
Every Saturday morning at 9, you get information to prepare you with retirement solutions for the journey ahead. It's Smart Money Ascent with Clayton Alexander of Teton Wealth Group.
How do we solve that number one fear or that number one concern? Make sure you never run out of money.
And Teton Wealth Group's Ethan Miller.
Then, when you leave Teton, when you leave our offices, you're going to have a plan that you're both excited about.
It's where your retirement questions are answered. Smart Money Ascent, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk KBNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to the For the People movie show with Andy Morgan of Andy at themovies.com. You heard it there, the Tomorrow War, Amazon Prime original. You can watch that on Amazon Prime right now.
You want to bet money?
Andy liked it. You give it a B.
You want to bet money that somebody right now is working on a Xanadu reboot? Guaranteed.
I really am surprised, actually, considering the fact that this was as popular as it was.
A listener just texted me and said,
completely forgotten.
I liked Passengers. And I texted him back and said something inappropriate.
I thought you were going to say somebody was complaining about the
Xanadu.
Olivia. But I didn't hate Passengers. The ending is what ruined it for me. That last maybe 20 minutes.
For me, it was just the whole movie that ruined it for me.
The whole
I didn't think it was possible.
Start to finish.
I didn't think it was possible for me to unlike Jennifer Lawrence, and that really started me down that road. Then Red Sparrow finished the job.
I go into every Jennifer Lawrence movie with like kind of the way a raccoon that's trapped in your garage would go into, because it's either it's going to be good or you're going to feel like someone stabbed you in the eyes. With
she's so good. She really
usually
is.
But when she's bad, she's like she's good at being bad.
I don't know. She's one of those. She's such a good actress that I don't. There's some actors and actresses that just can't headline a big, like a Red Sparrow kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise, and I'm just going to use him as an example. He can do stuff like that because no one expects anything else from him.
Yeah.
If they get good acting from him, they go, "Oh wow!"
Have you ever gone back and watched Jerry Maguire?
It's still good.
It's a great movie, but watch him in that movie.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of accolades for that movie. He didn't do anything special in that movie.
No,
nor in Top Gun or Days of Thunder.
I don't think anybody gave him anything.
Or any of the Mission
They just liked
Impossible
his
movies.
smile in those movies.
I mean, honestly, he has not been original since Risky Business,
but see,
his first movie.
But this is the thing, though. Jennifer Lawrence got her start by being a good actress, right? And so you look.
I guess that's the point I was trying to make. Because there's some people that
you can't. It's hard to transfer over to being this kind of like Brad Pitt's a good example. Brad Pitt was kind of in that Tom Cruise ball game early in his career. People were like, he's solid, but he's a. And again, I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but it's like he's a handsome guy. He's a leading man. He's a hunk, that kind of thing.
And so therefore
shiny white
is
teeth.
only going to be getting
he's,
those types of roles.
Right, where he's showing his abs and things like that. But then you get into,
what was that?
50s, age 50 Brad Pitt, and people are like, oh, this guy can act. And they'd said that a few times too, but...
What was that...
You're thinking
not Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I know what you're talking about. Snatch.
Yeah.
Where you can't. He needs like subtitles.
Yeah, and he's got the fake teeth in, and and I thought that was great.
So the other movie I want to talk to you
says I'm wrong. I said Tom Cruise's best role was Risky Business, his first ever role, and a listener says that I'm wrong. That he is great both in Magnolia and Tropic.
He is
Tropic Thunder.
That listener's correct. Those
and
are
I
great
have
roles.
To agree.
But that's later Tom Cruise. That's not early Tom Cruise.
Because in Magnolia he plays kind of a parasitic, multi-level marketing salesman kind of guy, and then in Tropic Thunder, spoiler alert, he's the bald guy.
Les Grossman. I don't think there's any actor out there. There might be a few, maybe Liam Neeson and Samuel L. Jackson, who literally they just they get a pack of scripts in the mail. It's like, hey, here's 12 scripts, and they're like, I don't even have to read it. Yes,
I'll just do it. Liam Neeson, Ice Road. Yeah, I'm in.
That's right.
Did you ever see that?
Hey, I did. We're doing another sequel. It's Ice Road Trucker 2. Keep on trucking.
I'm not busy.
Can we? How would you feel about that? He's 70, so he's going to start slowing down. This is what I wanted to talk about. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Disney / Lucasfilm has made since acquiring Lucasfilm,
Indiana Jones 4.
That was 2008.
Oh, that was pre then.
That was
that was pre Disney.
I think it honestly is not recasting Indiana Jones and kind of
with a younger,
doing like kind of a James Bond thing.
Whatever happened to young Indiana Jones? I thought that had legs as far as a film franchise goes.
So
I think you could have gotten away with that.
I'm going to be
Did the Mummy kill it?
I'm going to be this guy. There's nothing I would rather see less than teenage Indiana Jones.
Really? I wasn't even thinking teenage. I was thinking 20s, 30s, just
that I'm
turn
okay
it into
with.
a Mission Impossible style.
That I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But that when people were like, why don't they make it? How they had River Phoenix, he was the Boy Scout. I'm like, I don't want to. I want to watch Scooby Doo. I'll go watch Scooby Doo. I don't want to watch a bunch of teenagers solving archaeguology crimes.
Zoinks.
No thanks. No. But what we do need to talk about is I'm guessing we have another break.
Yes.
So before we go to that break, really quick, there's not a ton new in theaters. The only movie I think really that opened this weekend is Boss Baby, Family Business. So, I mean, if that's on your list, basically everything that's been playing, Cruella, Fast 9, all that type of stuff, that Quiet Place, all those are still in the theaters. In the theaters? Does that even make sense?
Yeah.
But that's really, really it at this point. That's not true. I lied. There is one movie that is opening this week, and it's The Forever Purge.
Oh, yeah.
If you wondered if they could keep making Purge movies, the answer is yes, they can.
This franchise has been so funny because it went from throwaway horror movie to decent sequel, but exactly what horror movie sequels usually are like, to suddenly accidentally becoming like this cult classic with social commentary in the third one, and they maintain that like through 4 or 5, and then they move past that and get back to throwaway horror movie.
Yeah,
like it's been really, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything past the second one, but I've read and followed the reaction from critics and fans since then, and it's been interesting to watch that evolution, because I think it was the third and fourth one people were like, this is actually the greatest social commentary in film in a long time in a horror movie.
Yeah, these guys were actually really disappointed when the election went the other way. They're like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, there goes our one our one trope for our film.
This is too bad. Dang it. We had life imitating art there for a while.
And now it's back to throwaway horror movie.
Yeah, we'll see how long that can keep going.
This one looks like it has a Western flair.
Saw would like to have it. I think this has some immigrant kind of...
I just see a cowboy hat and a horse.
Yeah.
I immediately call it. Yeah. All right.
But no, on the other side, I want to talk about
we got
werewolves.
Purge distracted there.
We should need to talk about Werewolves Within. This is
I'm excited to hear what you
playing
have to
in
say.
some theaters south of us, but also you can see it on Amazon Prime for $6.99. We got to talk about this.
It looks
It's a gem.
It looks horror. All right. We'll be back. We'll talk Werewolves Within, which, as Andy mentioned, you can see not here in Logan, but is playing in a few theaters not too far away from us along the Wasatch Front and in Salt Lake, and why you might want to consider that right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KBNU.
Utah is in extreme drought. Reservoirs are low and wildfire risk is dangerously high. Do your part to save water. Reduce outdoor watering and prioritize watering to focus on trees and shrubs. Check with your local provider for possible restrictions and visit slowtheflow.org.
Want to cut your cooling costs this summer and save money? Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning to schedule a free evaluation of your system and get their preseason special. With a highly efficient York air conditioning system, you can save up to 50% in energy costs while enjoying more consistent temperatures throughout your home. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 752-7272 or stop by our showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Loveland Living Planet Aquarium takes us outside our everyday lives, into a world of discovery. It's a chance to explore our innate curiosity, discover animals from around the world, and experience the all-new outdoor plaza and eco. More to explore at Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. Reserve your visit at thelivingplanet.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guess which energy source is truly the cleanest for the environment, is affordable, abundant, and is ready right now to do what all the other clean energy sources hope to do someday? It's propane. Yes, propane. To learn more about what propane can do for you, check out the State of Energy right here, Saturday mornings at 6:30. Also, the propane industry is set to grow by $50 billion over the next 5 years. Go to findapropanejob.com.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
Hey,
Welcome back to the For the People movie show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. So, a grade of B for Andy for The Tomorrow War, Amazon Prime original. You can watch that on Amazon right now. Much better than I expected the grade to be after he and I had kind of both pre-panned this based on the trailer just last week. Andy,
that's probably why, honestly, I'm
surprised to hear that it was, that you liked as much. Because that trailer, honestly, I just thought, like you said, it been done, been down this road. Something else. Now, comedy horror movies aren't a rare thing either.
They're not all the rage.
No, they rarely make blockbuster type of money. Although I think the Happy Death Day movie should have, because there is some amazing comedies just kind of snuck into this.
But that's almost, it's interesting you bring that because those movies are almost, I would say, more comedies than horror movies.
Yeah, there's very little actual horror.
This movie, Werewolves Within, it's kind of the same tone if you've ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, or if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, which is actually a mockumentary. This reminds me of the movies like in the...
And also a TV series, too, right?
Yes, these remind me of the ones in the 90s, like The Waiting for Guffman.
Oh, wow! I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Those type of it's funny humor, but this is going to sound really snooty, like I just popped on a beret. But it's that intelligent. This is not a movie that you can put on and then swipe on your phone. Like you've got to dial in because there's so many things going on. It's so tongue in cheek.
Hey, I've seen one review that I read briefly described it as like has a mystery.
It is
a whodunit, crime solving. kind of.
But it's so funny from start to finish. There's so and you know what it is? It's the script and it's the delivery from the actors. I can't say enough. I mean, if I was going to give, now granted, I know the year's not over, but when we talk about like an ensemble cast, these are all people you've probably seen in other movies as bit parts, and they have and it's really. I want to say maybe 10 actors that are just the bulk of this movie, and a couple the two leads, Sam Richardson, who actually is in the Tomorrow War.
That's funny.
And
do you think they time these things on?
I don't know. And then Milana, and I'm going to say her last name wrong because it's, but I believe it's Vintrube, Milana Vintrube. She's. That's not a name. That's not the first lady, or the former first lady. That's actually, she's the AT&T wireless commercial lady.
See, now that's just funny to me.
It is, but she's really, really, really funny, and she's really good. She has a lot of charisma that just kind of helps carry the movie. And then Sam Richardson, I am like. I couldn't decide what he was doing from an acting standpoint. Sam Richardson. I think he got his start, if I remember correctly, on Veep. I'm not 100% sure, but he was on Veep, and I think he got. He was part of like the ensemble awards that they won. But anyway, you might recognize Sam Richardson. He was in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. He was the fiance.
Yeah.
He was in. I know you remember this because I saw this movie with you. He was in Good Boys. He played the cop that is in the gas station mid movie.
The frustrated, I just want to go home. And I'm off shift cop.
Yeah, and he was also in Promising Young Woman.
Also good.
But he's so funny in this. He's the lead. He plays a forest ranger that's having some, I would say, kind of a midlife crisis / masculinity crisis. The movie opens, and this is the kind of subtle humor I'm talking about. He's in the car driving, and he's listening to a motivational tape trying to help him be more of a man, and he's yelling. And the editing and the cuts in this is so great because the yelling, him screaming in the beginning of the car just fits with the first, but he's driving a PT Cruiser, and when he was driving a PT Cruiser, I thought this movie's going to be gold. But I gave this a straight A. This is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. So if you have $7 in Amazon Prime, check it out, or you can head. I think it's down and playing in the Junction theaters in Ogden.
Yeah, it said. Now I haven't verified this. Last week I was surprised to see it said it was playing in Perry.
Yeah.
Of all places. I don't know if that's still the case. You're going to want to look that up.
You know what we're going to talk about next week?
I do not.
Black Widow. Are you excited?
I'm really excited for this. We can see if Phase 4 of Marvel can hold up.
I'm not excited.
You're not?
Not really.
Yeah,
and I love
really?
Scarlett Johansson, but I think this looks lame. Look at me being controversial.
Oh. Well, definitely tune in next Friday at 5 to see how this plays out. It's going to be definitely on everyone's mind whether or not Marvel's Phase 4 can hold up to the record so far. Tune in next week to find out here on the For the People movie show. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVN.